Hello Makeup Void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. Let's see how far we can get into this video without me putting my glasses on because my vision's a little bit blurry, so let's see how hard I can focus without them. But today we have a lot of palettes to talk about. These are palettes I think you should shop your stash for this winter season. Technically it's fall, but once December hits, everyone's like, it's winter, we have to talk about winter palettes. I was like, technically winter's not until like December 21st or 22nd. But we're still filming this now while it's technically fall. And when I think of winter, I think of pastels, I think of cold girl. Yes, I think of cool tones, but also a lot of cold girl makeup. So we have a lot of palettes to talk about. We have a lot. I shopped my stash for literally all of them. So give this video a like, dislike, subscribe. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Two palettes that remain in my makeup basket that I just never use but I really want to use them this holiday season. So first is the probably most affordable palette in my collection, My Rose Will Go On. The packaging is pretty much entirely worn away, by Essence. This is cold girl makeup right here. This is cold girl makeup. You have beautiful blushy tones for that cold girl. You have a stunning, this is a satin, a very light satin, which for me, I don't usually like, but it makes such an impact on the eyes. It's impeccable. And then you have two lovely shimmers down here that perfectly encompass cold girl eyeshadow. So I plan on doing a cold girl makeup tutorial and I really want to use that palette, so stay tuned. You might see it eventually on my channel. Let me just put it away real quick. Next, you could fight me on this. Fight me on this. This is the Oden's Eye Sea Talk palette. Now, Oceans, Summer, two palettes that remain in my makeup basket that I just never use but I really want to use them this holiday season. So first is the probably most affordable palette in my collection, My Rose Will Go On. The packaging is pretty much entirely worn away, by Essence. This is cold girl makeup right here. This is cold girl makeup. You have beautiful blushy tones for that cold girl. You have a stunning, this is a satin, a very light satin, which for me, I don't usually like, but it makes such an impact on the eyes. It's impeccable. And then you have two lovely shimmers down here that perfectly encompass cold girl eyeshadow. So I plan on doing a cold girl makeup tutorial and I really want to use that palette, so stay tuned. You might see it eventually on my channel. Let me just put it away real quick. Next, you could fight me on this. Fight me on this. This is the Oden's Eye Sea Talk palette. Now, Oceans, Summer, that's what you're thinking. I open this palette and I think winter because you have this pink to blue duochrome that screams to me cold girl. You have these lovely cool tone blues and you have two cool tone mattes, so you can get a winter vibe out of this. Yes, there's a pop of yellow. Yes, there's a pop of warm tones. But to me, like, I just want to use this palette during the winter. That's what this screams to me. I keep this in my makeup drawer and I don't know why I never use it because I just think about it. I don't think about it all the time, but like when I do think about it, I'm like, ooh, I should play with this. And then I just don't because I have a bunch of other shit to play with. But I definitely think if you have this palette, shop your stash for it during the winter and I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. Next, so I kind of have a stack from here. Like, stack is like new eyeshadow palettes to me this year, and then palettes that I just ripped through my makeup drawers and was like, this is winter, this is cool tone, this is blah 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 blah. Okay, get down in there. Okay, so let's start off with the palettes that are largely discontinued, largely can't get your hands on anymore, but if you have them in your stash, or if you like the color stories, look for inspiration. I don't think you can go wrong with these palettes. First of all, Lethal Evergreen. This was in No Pan Left Behind this year, and every time I talked about this palette, I thought, you know what? Winter. It's literally called the Evergreen palette. Evergreen trees. This is the season for evergreen trees to shine. This is the color story you need for this. Yes, you have a pop of yellow, but imagine the yellow as like the brisk sun on a Sunday morning right after a large snowfall. You have a pop of yellow for that bright sun, and then you have some nice evergreen tones to complement that yellow. I think this formula is amazing. I think this palette is stunning, and I think maybe this palette is still available actually. I do think the palette is still available. I could be wrong about that, but if it is still available, get your hands on it. I want to say, you know what, you're shopping Black Friday. I don't know sales. I made a whole video talking about why I don't talk about sales, so I have no idea what the sales look like right now. But if it is available and if it is on sale, go for it. Cool Tones Winter ColourPop of Quartz palette. You want cool tones, you got cool tones. You want silvers, you want that holiday silver glam, you got it here. New Year's Eve, this is the perfect palette for it. Next, just rip this whole brand, but I have to talk about the BH Cosmetics Blueberry Muffin palette. If you find this palette on Mercari, just go for it. Just do it. If you see it at TJ Maxx, if you see it at Marshall's, go for it. 10 out of 10 recommend. I can't really show you all the palette because of the holographic packaging, but you do have these lovely yummy cool tones and some shimmers. You have some darker mattes to deepen up the outer corner if that's your thing. I also think that, you know what, I don't think that winter is the time for a full smoky eye. I mean, if you're doing New Year's Eve glam, definitely, but I really don't think that this is the season for a nice smoky eye. Like, at least in December, at least when it's snowy, I don't really feel like a good smoky eye. I almost feel like there's a palette I wanted to reach for and I have no idea where it is. Oh, it's right there. No, we're not including you. No, we're not. But we are including you. Okay, focus. So, I love this palette because it does have the deep matte shades, but it doesn't go too incredibly deep. So you can do that frosty cold girl makeup look, but you're not going to be forced to do a smoky eye with it. And that's why I really like this palette. More pastels, more spring. I'm calling it a cold girl. It's a Lethal Cosmetics Lethal Cosmetics collab with Teresa's Dead called Lethal is Dead. Let's use our brain cells. Now, you could argue that this is a spring palette. I'm going to argue that it is a winter palette because you have these blues. You have a little, you can even do a Christmas vibe with these two mattes right here. Bring a little bit of Christmassy. I don't have any blatant holiday palettes. I don't have any blatant Christmas palettes, so you're not going to see that in this stash. But I think it's just nice. It's just nice. I think you should shop your stash for it this season. A palette that, fight me on this. I don't care. You can put this in another season. I might put this in another season, but I also want to play for this palette with this season, and that is a Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. They just remastered this palette, and I'm gonna be going online and like after I film this video, and I might go up to Give Me Glow and I might see how expensive the remastered version of this palette is because I really freaking want it. Anyways, you can argue that this is spring. I mean, it's literally a pastel palette. Obviously, it's spring. But for me, the reason why I call this cold girl winter makeup, like, just ignore this bottom row. Just, okay, we're talking about half the palette. We're only talking about half the palette, but still half the palette's great because I love a cotton candy moment. Love a good cold girl cotton candy moment. So you have the pinks and the blues and the purples that you need for that cotton candy moment. Also, this baby pink eyeshadow for this time of year for cold girl blushy makeup. Like, say no more. This is what you need. I think their revamped version of this palette is more saturated. I don't know how like pastel it is. It looks pretty saturated, at least on Instagram. But they also downsized the pan, so I don't know how well I can use those shadows as blush. But this is a phenomenal palette. Again, snowy winter morning when the snow is gone. You have that bright pop of yellow to bring the sun out, but you have these lovely, yummy cotton candy shades. That is just oh so perfect for a nice winter morning. Okay, Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette. It's cool toned. It's pop of neutral. It is cold girl. Need to say more. That's literally all I'm going to say about this palette. So that's cold girl makeup and it's phenomenal. I don't know if it's still available. It was on sale for a very long time, so I don't know. Also, Huda Beauty is like discontinuing all those large palettes apparently, so I don't know. Let's talk about the palettes that I purchased this year that scream cold girl to me, starting off with the Fancy Cosmetica Cradled in Ice palette. Cold girl, cool tones, blues. This is a winter palette. It came out in June. I have no idea why when this is like blatantly cool tone neutrals. And the packaging, You can argue it's a little bit of a winter. You have a dragon cradling their eggs. Super freaking cute. Nice wintry. It just screams winter from packaging to color story. Just seems perfect for all of that. I'm going to leave this on my vanity because I want to use it again. And then we have the May Amy Love / Adapt collab palette. First of all, the packaging, the glitter. This is holiday. This is New Year's palette. You have yummy, cool tone mattes. You have the pop of pink. You have the pop of blue. You have these icy shades like Cold Girl. I keep saying Cold Girl. Sorry, not sorry. But it's a cool tone winter color story. That's what I'm saying. From the packaging, it's holiday. This is a nice palette where you want to do a holiday look, but you don't want it to be blatantly holiday. This is a great palette for it. I still think it's available, so let's go for it. Fancy Cosmetica Wizard palette. Now, I did say that you don't need to go with a grungy smoky eye when it comes to winter, and I stand by that. But if you want to do a grungy smoky eye for winter, you definitely do it with this palette. Beautiful pop of yellow, absolutely phenomenal. You have these icy blues. You can go a little bit dark. There is a holographic shade. I think that's the most underwhelming part of this palette, so I would recommend using the shadow to see if you like it, but I wouldn't recommend like continually using it, if you know what I'm saying. I would recommend continually using it. So beautiful, 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 beautiful. Perfect for winter. I am going to put this away though, because I don't think I actually want to use it this season. We have 4 more palettes to go. Oh, we still have 4 more palettes to go. This really short video because I don't know how much I can elaborate on these palettes because I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But we're going to do it anyways. Is this palette still available? I hope it's still available. The Unsley Ring and Lands of Enchantment palette. Or yeah, it's Lands of Enchantment. It's plural. First of all, AI packaging. I don't know your opinion on AI packaging. Let me know down below. I don't care. I really don't care. If it's pretty packaging, like, I'm just down for it. I mean, I think if you have AI as a resource, go for it. But winter, icy, a little bit of smoky. You have nice yummy plum. You have some deeper blues and teals down here, but it's largely a pastel palette, perfect for winter. You have these nice iridescent shades, some yummy pastels. You can argue that this could be a really pretty pastel blush. The pan is a little bit too small, so that'd be really hard to do, but you still could do it. Nice minty greens. You have a frosty winter morning with this palette. It's so good. Cool tones, but also it's like the holidays is a hard year or a hard time of year for a lot of people. You're distant from family, whether it's like physically distant, emotionally distant. It's not always the best time of year for everybody. And so I kind of want to like dampen the mood a little bit and talk about the Blind Bunny Longing palette. Because it was created when the creator was in a time of grief in her life, and grief has no timetable, so she's probably still grieving. But the Longing palette is just kind of like an ode, what's the word? An homage to the people that she's lost. Just a wanting to reconnect with them, to carry on their memory. And so this is just a it's a cool tone palette. But it's very moody. It's very Blend Buddy moody. So you can't go smoky with this. I actually did a look for a job interview that I just did, like, there's my alarm for therapy that got canceled. Okay. So I just used like this shadow, and this shadow to do like just a holiday look. You can definitely go holiday with this. Winter, not so much this column, not so much this column, but if you cover them up, beautiful wintry icy column for the holidays. And then if you're just grieving, if you're just missing family, just carry that mood into this palette. I said what I said. Tea break. Okay, 2 more palettes to go. Bella Beauté Bar Angles of Illusion. Bella Beauté Bar Angles of Illumination. I know this palette is discontinued and it breaks my heart, but I gotta talk about it. A lot of these palettes are discontinued. What am I talking about? But this one was recently discontinued, so we're gonna ignore this bottom row. Ignore it. Here we have beautiful icy blues, greens, purples, perfect for this time of year. And then actually this shade down here could also be very pretty for this time of year. The icy, it's kind of like a mint to green to brown multi-chrome, but it's really sheer, so like with a light base or no base on your eyes could absolutely create the most perfect look out of this. I love this palette because you can pop out the pants. It makes it very easy to do that. So if you are traveling and you want a little bit of icy blueness, maybe, because for me this is a complete palette. For me, this is a complete palette because I don't need mattes. Do I like mattes? Yes. Do I need them? No. But you got them right here. Yes, you do. They're absolutely stunning. So I don't need mattes to complete a look, but take like the Tarte palette with you on vacation, pop out some of these shadows, put them into a little magnetic palette, and you're good to go. Perfect icy. And then the packaging is just so pretty. It's also very holiday. I don't know when this palette came out. I just know I bought it this year. And lastly, what is on my eyes? Because it was the last palette I need to use in my ranking video. Last one. Finally did it. Oh, I want to include... let's sidetrack. Urban Decay Moon Dust palette from last year. It's literally their holiday palette from last year. Have not actually used this palette in months, which really disappoints me because I freaking love this palette. I used to use it literally all the time. That's why it's stuck out of my vanity. But it's a holiday palette. It's the closest to holiday that I have. So, I not include it. Also, it's perfect for New Year's Eve kind of holiday looks. Anyways, backtracking to what was on my eyes. It's the Cosmic Beauty Cosmic Brushes. I don't know. The Cool Trolls palette. You want holiday, you want cool tones, you want sparkly, you want a pop of pink. Say no more. Say no more. I think this palette is absolutely freaking beautiful. This is the last palette I used in my project, and I gotta say, my review on this palette was pretty negative, but I'm singing a different tune now. Singing a little bit of a different tune. So what did I use in my eyes? I used the pink shade that didn't really show up. Called Crave, didn't really show up. And then I buffed it out with the shade Hidden, which was pretty impactful. It seems like it's a nice mid-tone blue. Pretty impactful. I wasn't expecting too much out of it. And then I used the multi-chrome up here, which is called Gravitate. So it shifts from like, it's like, I don't know how to show multi-chromes without showing off how messy my desk is, but it's like a bronze to purple multi-chrome, which is very standard. If you're getting for a multi-chrome, it's going to be this, or like a brown to red to green multi-chrome. Those are kind of the two, like if you're going to get a multi-chrome, that's what you're going to get. But it's pretty. It's so pretty. So that's what I use on the lids. I use the sparkly black shade called Eyeshadow is Covering It Up. So I don't know what this shade is called, but it's a sparkly black down here on the lower lash line. Can you tell it's sparkly black on the lower lash line? No, it just looks like black. I don't care. It's pretty. And then I use this shade, which is called Reveal, in the inner corner. Quite sheer. And I actually like that it's very sheer, because it makes it a lid topper for me, and I wish I put it all over my lids with a white base. That was my regret of this palette, but it's so pretty, and the formula is really good. I was really negative about this palette in my review, but I'm glad I changed my tune. So those are all the palettes I am not shopping my stash for, because it's a lot, and I won't be using all of them this holiday season. Will I want to? Yes. Am I gonna? No. But I might leave some of these palettes out of my vanity to play with. Thinking Pastel Dreams. I think I might leave this out. And then I already used Lethal Evergreen. My Keep of Quartz. Let's keep of Quartz out on the vanity. Let's focus on these two palettes, and then the rest of the palettes I just want to play with my Fuchsia and my Super Shots. That's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do this holiday season. So I hope this video inspired you to shop your stash, or if you're feeling the shopping bug and you're not on a low no buy, just take advantage of some sales and just buy shit that you don't need. I'm going to encourage you to go on the low buy, a no buy, and fluff everything, buy everything. I'm here to support you either way on this wild journey of makeup beauty YouTube. So thank you all so much. I hope you find joy. As always, have joy, and bye.